Hey everybody, welcome back to Nerd News Today. I'm Matthew, and today we're continuing our look at WWE Legends Series 17 with a look at Ken Shamrock. Now, Ken Shamrock has not had an Elite-style figure in many years. In fact, he's also never even had a basic figure from Mattel, and his last Elite was him in red trunks with a red robe, and that was a real serious long time ago. So it's been long overdue that we got an updated version of Shamrock here, and I should mention, by the way, that Shamrock in this series is also the Chase figure. So the version we're looking at today is the regular release, and that's going to be him in the green outfit. But if you see him on Target shelves in blue, that is the Chase, so don't miss out on that one. Now for me, my point of reference with Ken Shamrock was actually not first WWE, it was actually first UFC. And from there I learned about him in Pancrase, and then ultimately found my way to him in WWE, because that's a whole other story, but I really missed most of the Attitude Era because I just didn't have cable. Yeah, I was one of those kids. I was aware of Shamrock in WWE, but I wasn't really watching him that much. But I did know him as the world's most dangerous man in the UFC, as a super fight champion, and as a king of Pancrase. So adding Ken Shamrock to my figure collection was one of the easiest decisions I've ever made. So let's talk about the packaging here real quick. This figure is like all of the WWE Legends series figures, which is a throwback essentially to those original Legends figures that Mattel did when they first launched their entire series. The difference today being, of course, that they have this neat little cut over here. It's one of the random things they've changed over the years. But overall, it's still really cool to see this style of packaging back here. I'm a really big fan of it. Like all the WWE figures, of course, it has a big open window on the front to let you see everything that this figure comes with, which includes a championship belt and a few extra hands. But my absolute favorite part of these toys is right here, and that would be the little illustration of Ken Shamrock. Now, I'm not sure if it's an actual illustration that's drawn by someone or if it's just a photo that they kind of just wiggled a few lines over. I don't quite know the creative process, but I've always really enjoyed these drawings, these little illustrations here, so I'm very happy to see them back on the boxes. I also am a big fan of the fact that you can see it again on one side and again on the other side, so hey, that's fun for me. And again, on the back, same thing, we got the same illustration, but a little bit bigger now, so always really cool to see that. And speaking of the back of the box, over here we also got a really nice bio about Ken Shamrock that lets you know a little bit about where this figure is from. It mentions two of his accolades, which was IC Champion, which is the belt that he comes with, as well as him being a Tag Team Champion. Now you might be wondering, well, why is this section over here taped up? Well, that's because I ordered this from Target's website, and Target is kind of terrible at shipping toys. A lot of you folks already know that here. So this has got a sticker right over the bottom of the packaging here. My Dingo Warrior also had a very similar problem. It was actually right on the front of the window. So I was able to remove that, but this time around I decided to keep it on here as a warning to you people out there too who collect these toys. If you're ordering anything from Target, buyer beware. And likewise too, if you're ordering anything from pickup from Target, be careful because you're gonna always get these stickers nowadays on these toys. It's really annoying. So honestly, your best bet is if you're a mint on card collector to really just go to Target's and hope for the best. And I will say that Legends Series 17 is one of the newer ones that's out right now, and it's been pretty plentiful at Target. So is Series 16, so is Series 15. I don't know what's going on, but Mattel is definitely starting to produce a lot more toys and making it a little bit easier to find, and also hurting those scalpers who keep hurting us good collectors. But that's enough about the packaging. I'm going to go ahead and snap right now, get this Ken Shamrock out of the packaging, and get him into the ring, take a closer look at him from all angles. And here we are, we got our Ken Shamrock now out of the packaging. Let's take a closer look at him. Off the bat, I'm actually pretty darn impressed by this Shamrock. It is pretty much also identical to the first Shamrock they did, but there are some improvements to it. So let's just first start by talking a little bit about the likeness here. Does this look like Ken Shamrock? And I would have to say that yes it does. And I say that also because it's pretty much the exact same head they used for that initial Shamrock release. So they're not really changing much, but what they did do a little bit differently was mostly just fix the paint job. You know, now they're using a better paint application. Whatever they're doing, I don't know. But as far as like, you know, a lot of figures who get re-released like this, the paint jobs are just more smooth, they are better detailed. They're basically just a lot more fine, and it's those fine details that really make it look like the wrestler it's supposed to be. So yeah, I think it looks a great deal like Ken Shamrock. In fact, let's bring him even a little bit closer to you guys so you can get a real good look at all those details in him. And it's pretty solid. But again, if you have that previous Shamrock release, this is not new ground for you. It would have been cool if maybe they put an additional head sculpt in there for our Kenny over here, but I don't really know if they could have. I mean, that's the thing. I kind of wish they could have rescanned him or something, because Ken's face has also changed a lot over the years, which is weird. It's not like he's had surgery or anything like that. Just as he got older, his cheek structures changed. His weight also changed a lot too, let's keep in mind, because after WWE, he went back to UFC, and then he fought in all sorts of other places, and Pride ultimately ended his career, I guess, in Bellator finally, and that was many years, almost 20 years later, in fact, since he had left WWE. So I feel like if they had like scanned his face, it was probably an older. Well, yeah, it was basically, a contemporary version of Ken. So they were trying to figure out what to do with him. Didn't quite work. I kind of wish somebody would come back and just do a brand new sculpt from scratch, because that would probably look really great. Like the back of the head too, by the way. It looks really nice. I mean, the hair looks good. The sculpt looks good. I guess I'm just wishing for something that we probably can't exactly get, not too realistic. But I guess that's my way of saying I wouldn't mind more Ken Shamrock stuff out there. Now let's talk about his body sculpt here, because again, this is not a brand new body sculpt. It's probably the same exact one he had, actually. I don't quite remember. I'm pretty positive it's the exact same one here. So it's nothing new, but it's fine for Ken. It looks good for Ken, and especially because Ken really did have those enormous lats. He was always one of the bigger, small guys, if you will, because he was an actual fighter. So his body was very lean, very muscular. He also did come from a pro wrestling background, so you really got the best of both worlds with Ken, as far as like getting MMA shoot style pro wrestler who could actually run the ropes and do some fun things. So yeah, I mean, body looks good, pretty happy with it. So you can see he's wearing this green outfit here. I think we'll come back to that in a minute, because I do want to talk about what's currently around his waist, and that is the Intercontinental Championship. So somehow, believe it or not, I don't know how this is possible, I never actually got any figures that had this Intercontinental Championship. So this is my first time seeing it in figure form. I don't know how I have not gotten it previously, but yeah, somehow I haven't. So my first thought when I got this was like, it looks kind of plain. Is it missing something? Because I noticed like this section above the W and under it, and I was like, it's so gold and blank and boring. There's got to be more to it. And well, it turns out that yes, I was right. There actually should be a little bit more to it. But not that much more. It is kind of weird though, because I guess it's been so long since I've seen this belt that I never realized the Intercontinental Champion word actually did like warp around the bottom of the belt there. That's kind of fun now that I see that. But yeah, there should actually be a little bit more on this belt. So below it, not really, because below it would just be the nameplate, and they're not going to fix that for every single wrestler they do. But in the space right above the WWE logo, which of course also inaccurate, should be the WWF, but they can't use that anymore. Over here above this, in this area here, it should actually say World Wrestling Federation. And that might be why they're not putting any detail there, because they can't use World Wrestling Federation. I mean, I wouldn't have minded if you have to just put World Wrestling Entertainment. What the heck? Because they're already not going to be completely 100% accurate, because they can't use it regardless. So why not just do it? I don't know. But that's how that looks, and it came like this in the packaging, as you saw, already wrapped around his waist, which is very handy. But I'm going to go ahead and pop it off for a second, because I also want to show you the side medallions if we can here, because I think those look really nice as well. And the IC belt from the Attitude Era was one of those really big, thick looking belts. It's pretty interesting, but yeah, like this one here, it's very nice. It has that kind of same blue, it was very blue and yellow belt, and it has that same kind of shades of blue, yellow, gold. It's really pretty. It's just a little odd that they couldn't put a little bit more detail or something else to kind of just make it really look the way it should look. Now, I scoured the internet to figure out where this Ken Shamrock outfit came from, and I came up quite blank because most of Ken's career, he was wearing red or blue or black. But the green outfit seems to be from his final, I believe it's his final WWF match ever. And that was from September 23, 1999, a First Blood match against Chris Jericho. And this would be the match that would cause Ken to have kayfabe internal bleeding and took him off TV, but leaving him in a way that would give him a chance to return to television if he was able to make a new deal with the company. And as I mentioned, green is the regular release, blue is the chase. Again, kind of weird because blue feels like he wore a lot more often, so don't know why the green, which seems to be a more rare outfit, would be the one they make him in toy form with. But as far as the outfit goes, it's pretty simple, pretty easy, and very hard to mess up. So just has the Shamrock logo across his upper crotch region, I guess. Nothing on the back, just his butt. We do have the green knee pads as well, which would be accurate. Nice little touch of detail that I like is on his boots, though, where it actually has the Shamrock name going down them. But that's really where the details end with his outfit, because he's just one of those wrestlers who didn't wear much. But we do have his MMA gloves, which is also part of his signature look, because Ken was basically the first MMA pro wrestler in WWE, or WWF at the time. So we do get MMA gloves with him. Nothing new here as far as I can tell either. We've seen these with like other guys. Goldberg's got them. A bunch of dudes have the MMA gloves, but I like them. I always like when the toys have these gloves. It just makes them look kind of fun. And it's also nice because everybody's got the same pegs, so if you want to start popping them out and putting them into other dudes' hands to have MMA fights, sure, why not? And Ken also comes with a few more accessories. He has 4 additional hands for a total of 3 sets. So he's currently got the closed fists on the figure, but you also can see here we have 2 open hands and 2 pointy fingers. So you can get a whole bunch of different poses, and like I said, with this figure, you can just start swapping around the hands and put them on other guys and get yourself some other MMA fighters with your figures. As far as articulation goes, it's nothing you haven't already seen before with these figures. got ourselves a ball-jointed head, moves nicely here. We've got ball-jointed shoulders. He can get his arms up really nicely there as well. You've got the bicep swivel, as well as the wrists that can bend and flex and rotate. His buck here can let him bend, do some good posing. The waist turns, legs, very good articulation. Well, very good articulation on one leg. So he can do a nice low kick with his left leg, but his right leg, for some reason on mine, is, there we go. Okay, that was really stiff and weird. I'm gonna have to heat that one up. We have the thigh cut as well. We have the knees, but they're covered up by these ginormous knee pads, which are accurate, but these knee pads just cut off so much circulation, unfortunately, and so much articulation, I should say. I mean, I'm sure it's probably cutting off the blood flow to his legs too, but yeah, these knee pads, while accurate, are horrible for posing, so not much you can do there. The boots rotate as well, and the feet are articulated, so, you know, no different. He's not hindered. There's nothing really blocking him other than those knee pads. And that's the price you pay if you're getting authenticity with your figures. Let's just bring in a few figures to compare him with for size sake here. And here's a Ric Flair, WCW style Ric Flair from, I think, Elite 94. Here is a Karrion Kross figure I got recently also. He's a little bit taller than some of their figures out there. So that's how Ken looks with these guys. Now, as far as some bigger figures go, here is a Keith Lee. And since I already mentioned him earlier in the video, how about we bring in Goldberg as well? And you can see that they do in fact share the exact same MMA gloves. So that's how our Kenny is going to look with these guys. Just for fun, let's bring in some AEW guys as well. How about a CM Punk figure and our Bryan Danielson, if I can get him to stand up here, because he's on point currently. But that's how he's going to look with the AEW guys. They all scale up just fine. I wouldn't mind seeing Ken Shamrock put some fists to CM Punk over there, but to be fair, I would have liked to have seen him wrestle a lot more guys in his career. But that's how he looks. Scales up nicely with these guys as well. And Storm Collectibles, same thing as well. I don't have my Suzuki available, but he will scale up just fine with Storm's Suzuki and Jushin Liger figures. So that's my look at this Ken Shamrock WWE Legends figure from Series 17. It's a darn good version of Ken Shamrock. You know what, if you missed out on it, then here's your second chance. That's really the best way to put it. And it really is your second chance, because there's nothing really too new with this figure. The only thing new you're getting is better paint application, different accessories. Like, really, you're not getting the robe here. That's what you're missing from this figure that he had previously. You're not getting the robe. I don't really care, honestly. I could live without the robe. I'm not too into the robe. I'm actually happy to get another IC belt, or rather my first IC belt, because the only IC belts I have are the very, very old ones. So, and some of the white ones too. But yeah, I don't have the Attitude Era belt, so I'm missing it. I finally have it. Oddly enough, it has been a little bit more plentiful in the past year thanks to some Ruthless Aggression figures like that RVD figure. But yeah, overall I'm happy with it, but nothing amazing, really. It's fine. It is what it is. I'd recommend waiting for Ken to go on sale, and chances are these Legends will go on sale because they always go on sale. In fact, earlier today I went on Target's website and they had dropped them down already half price. And keep in mind, these just came out. So within a week of me seeing them on a shelf, they now went from $22.99 to $11.49. That's absurd. So really, with these Legends right now, there's no longer any FOMO, it seems like. For the most part, they're all in store. They're going to be online here and there. I would say wait for a sale or use your Target bucks or something if you're trying to get them. Don't pay full price for Ken. It's a great figure, but I don't think he's that amazing. He's worth getting on a sale. So with that said, that is our look at WWE Legends Series 17 Ken Shamrock. He is exclusive to Target, so pick him up there if you want to get him. Otherwise, you're not going to find him, well, anywhere else besides their website or eBay. So, until then, I am Matthew. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys here later with more wrestling figure reviews and everything else we do here on Nerd News Today.